Seeker Nerd Podcast presents Ghost Underground, a 10-part actual play series of The Corrupted. Ghost Underground is a narrative-focused horror mystery that follows Angie Gone as Adele.
There's no time. But are you willing to risk it?
Oleander Tripp as Chase.
We don't know what came of them. We don't know that future. That future is dead.
Andres Cleric Torres as Luis.
What are your orders, General? What are your orders, sir?
And GM'd by Josephine Kim.
Okay. And for your safety, I'm not going to say any more than what I'm going to tell you right now, okay?
Content warnings for this series include epidemics, pandemics, zombie apocalypse, childbirth and illusions of harm to children, mental health and a lack of related resources, fascism, military violence, gun violence, body horror, and allusions to immolation. A list of these content warnings is also provided in the show notes. Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to a Tales Yet Told production. Viewer discretion is advised.
Blood in the Snow is a horror actual play series using the game Hunt by Gila RPGs. The story is inspired by gothic tales of monster hunting and vampirism, so be wary. And check the episode description for content warnings as well as a list of cast and crew.
Sanguis Populi, blood of the people. Vampiric knights bound by duty to the city of Azeroth. On a quest to do battle against something otherworldly yet familiar. A monster that drains. A monster that drains the land of magic, sucking the illusory forest of its centuries of enchantment that keeps the people of Azeroth safe. The Dryad claimed the vampires will be mortal in the presence of such a being a part of an army that has yet to have a single one of its commanders defeated by a gathering of mortals. Shall the Knights of Azeroth be the first to claim this accomplishment? That brings us to now. We jump back into the story. You all have negotiated with the Dryads. A temporary arrangement has been made. So long as you don't destroy any more of this forest, they will let you go past. And when you defeat this monster, you can have your dead. That said, you know that many haven't returned. And as the Dryad warned, it will drain you of your magical essence, and it will render you mortal long enough to kill you if it gets its hands on you. You all continue walking through the path until you find yourself growing closer and closer to the elder tree. You begin to notice a clearing begin to form. The trees become further spread apart as you eventually find a large stone door embedded in the side of a massive tree. Probably about, I want to say around, imagine Elvira's wingspan twice over. That's how thick this tree is. The massive stone doors built into the base of the tree, you can tell that is where the heart resides. Welcome to the Elder Tree.
This is honestly truly a door. What sort of architectural technology are Dryads, apparently? Well, let us be quiet. Make our way in. Swan takes out now the spear, again, made out of the horribly petrified and hollowed out dryad corpse creation that is the spear that was gifted to her again by our Lord. Ready?
I suppose so.
Let's get this over with.
Who opens the door?
Me.
All right. So you approach the double doors. There is a handle to them. It's like carved into it. Do you go to open both doors or just one?
I have my spear in my hand, so I believe just one.
All right. And so you grab onto the carved in handle and you pull the door open, and its heavy weight causes it to skid across the ground, dragging a bit as you will pull it open to the point where you can then push it all the way open. And as you do this, a searing white light emerges from within the tree.
Keep pushing through, trying to cover my eyes in the process.
How does the light affect Elvira under this helmet?
So Swan walks in, and Swan, you feel the light wrap around you as you go into the tree. And Elvira, as you go into the tree, paying attention to how your armor feels, you begin to feel armor's cold. You're typically wearing your clothes underneath it for padding's sake, with the metal that your armor's made of oftentimes being, the temperature of outside, with maybe a little bit of your own body warmth filling it, but you're undead. And so that cold and that weight that you feel on your body, you do begin to feel that cold slowly begin to run warmer than you expected. But it doesn't burn, not like daylight would treat you. And Blythe, do you follow in as well?
I do.
And as all three of you are enveloped in this light, the light begins to die down as you begin to walk forward, and you look down at yourselves, dressed as you did on that fateful night 95 years ago. Last time you walked through a pair of double doors together, following behind Lord Anastasios. The night you died, the night you were born again. And when you look around at the environment, the interior of this elder tree itself has become the halls of the Crimson Castle. You find yourself standing in the Sanguine Banquet. The scents of the finest of foods, the nicest of wines, the sound of chatter from all the knights around you, the sensation of the warmth of the fireplaces crackling. You feel alive again, like the warmth is flowing through your veins once more. And Lord Anastasios stands at the head of a table, talking to a long table seating the castle's many workers, be it knights, crew members, all of the sorts. And this certainly must be illusory. Lord Anastasios looks up and sees you all, and with open arms smiles. My friends, welcome to the party. Enjoy yourselves. Have a drink.
Instinctively, Blythe grabs both Swan and Elvira by the wrists.
This is wrong.
This is very wrong.
How did we... It must be another one of the forced tricks.
I look behind me. What do I see?
You see... Normally, you would turn around, and you've been in the Great Hall. You remember the Great Hall. And you would see the big wooden doors that you entered through. But now when you look behind you, you see a straight stone wall.
What's happening?
Lord Anastasios!
Swan, no.
It is so nice
Go.
to see you. Thank you again
leave.
for inviting us for this night.
Of course, Swan. I wouldn't have anyone miss it for the world.
Swan, no, this is wrong. No, we cannot play along with this. This goes
Follow along for now.
very, very badly if we just play along. We know what happens this night.
And why would we not continue on, knowing what we know now? It is still a gift that we have been given.
And the morning was a curse, an endless nightmare. You may play along with it if you would like, but I will not watch those horrors again. And Elvira's going to see if she can find a way out of here.
All right. You start scanning the perimeter of the room looking for doors. And of course, you do see a door that you would know leads to the kitchen of the Great Hall. And that's the only door you can see at the moment.
Then that's the door I go to.
Elvira, no.
All right. And Blythe, what are you doing?
Blythe has tried to go back to the door. With a stone wall meeting his gaze, he rushes, feels for it. Nothing's there. And as the despair is setting in with the memory of that fateful night, they cower. They start to sit, knees to the chest, holding themselves, covering themselves with their wings.
Blythe, as you curl up by the wall where the door should be, eventually you hear footsteps approach you, and you hear the familiar voice of a priest named Maeve. Are you okay? I know parties aren't your usual fare, Doctor, but...
Leave me alone. You're not real. None of this is real.
Blythe,
Don't touch me.
Maeve walks not directly in front of you and kneels down so that she's on eye level with you. You don't seem all right.
This isn't real.
Yes, it is. This is real.
Swan. Elvira. No.
You were with all the knights. Isn't this what you've always wanted?
This isn't what I wanted. This is just a memory. This is just the forest. This is the heart of the tree. It's playing tricks on us.
You see Maeve smile just a little bit. The forest, that's outside. We're in the Crimson Castle, very far away from that.
No. Stop playing with me. I will hurt you. Enough of this.
And you see Maeve's face drop, and she nods. Well, I'll leave you then. Hopefully you'll feel more social later. And as she turns to walk away, Swan, you go to speak to Lord Anastasios, who is holding out a glass of wine toward you. It's currently empty. And he's like, come on, have a seat.
Thank you.
Has your last few weeks been eventful? Any more tales of gratuity? I know I missed what happened to poor Titus.
Titus. Yes. Well, I do try. Gratuity, I would say, is something I strive for. But that night with Titus, it was maybe the grandest sort of gratuity.
Grand. You know. And he leans in a little bit and whispers to you and goes, you feel just a little bit bloodthirsty. And I like that in a knight. Sometimes you're willing to do the things that no one else is, by any means. Is that not what it means to be sanguis populi, to protect these people?
I find that I'm unsure if it is entirely a commitment to the people. Perhaps I just want to feel everything that there is just before the moment that I take life. Is that not something that you have ever partaken in, Lord Anastasios?
Oh, yes. A long time ago, I used to dine with the Dragon Skybreaker, far, far away. I defended myself from an assailant, and I was exiled. And in my long journeys, I eventually found my way to Ozerod. I'd only heard myths of your tales, and now I'm here, surrounded by people I see myself in. Would you like to have a drink? We have a special brew tonight, prepared by my finest. You can have the first glass. And they push the empty glass toward you.
I take the glass, and then as he leaned in to whisper to me, I get really close to his face. Swan's manic smile of interest as all of this is so interesting to her. For some reason, she thinks she's beyond the illusions, that she can make sense of whatever she's looking at, but who knows what doing this might do. She smiles into this Lord Anastasios' face with the cup, with the glass. I wonder if that is the exact spiel that you gave this first glass to whoever that might have been, that glorious gift of a night when you killed all of us. And I have, again, no problem with the fact that it happened, but I'm curious.
Clever. And as he says that, Elvira, as you walk into the kitchen looking for an exit, you push open the doors, and the first thing you see is a kitchen staff of people you've never seen. But these are Lord Anastasios's. And as you look upon them and you see them fixing up the last of the meals and preparing the last of the drinks, their eyes all turn toward you, red, almost glowing, and they pause. And one of them pokes their head out and goes, "You're not supposed to be back here.
Where is the way out?
The way, have you tried the front entrance?"
I move quicker than I should to this person, and I grab them by the face, with like my hands basically like covering their eyes as I lift them off the ground. "I know not what you are, be you illusion, be you creature, trying to fool us, making us relive this wretched night. But you will tell me how to get out of here, or you will die."
And as you throw that threat, you hear a voice from behind you, old Marquise.
"Elvira, I thought you'd never leave the crypts."
You hear the old crypt keeper.
"Why don't you put the poor lad down?"
I am still like holding this person up, and like am slowly turning to look at them. I'm sure they look just how I remember them.
Exactly as you remember them. Dressed in long, nice robes. You get the impression that Marquise was the more earthy type, liked long, flowy clothing, nice amounts of room, and you stand there in your leather garb. You have a person's face clawed within your hands, and Marquise looks you up and down and goes,
"Maybe you did spend one too many nights down there.
How?
Come on. Come back to the party."
How dare you defile their memories? And I'm going to take the person who I have like already lifted in the air, and I'm going to smash them into this fake version of Marquise.
all right. And as you grab this person and you smash them into Marquise, you see, almost in like slow motion, you see the skulls collide. And as they do, it almost is like watching two rubber balls collide in midair as they ripple. Not like how real skulls would, not like real flesh connecting. And almost like rag dolls, they collapse into each other, limply scattering to the ground and sliding across the floor.
I think, like, in the aftermath of having thrown these two people together and seeing the way that they bounce off of each other in a way that no two people made of meat and flesh should, looking around at all of these things, looking back, I think Elvira is filled with something that she is rarely accustomed with feeling, and that is rage. And from that rage comes a need to seek vengeance. And she looks at all of these things looking back and says, "How dare you gaze upon me with stolen eyes?" And I'm just going to go from person to person, ripping them limb from limb, throwing, I just full on using the speed and strength that is normally held back by armor and just letting loose.
And Swan, as Lord Anastasios had said, clever. You see this mayhem beginning to erupt right over Anastasios' shoulder, and Anastasios turns his back to you for just a moment, wondering what the fuck happened. And Blythe, as you look up at Maeve, you see Maeve taken aback by the sound as they turned away from you. And you see them widen stance in a way you've never seen this priest do much other than their prayers. You've never seen them do this. They're breaking that script. Something has disrupted it. And you can tell from the other side of the room, it's Elvira.
I break from cowering in fear, and from fear becomes anger, and then anger turns into the need to survive, and takes out the scalpel, and from behind Maeve, or whatever this is, I start stabbing their chest.
All right. And so you run up and you grab Maeve from behind, stabbing into that chest multiple times with the scalpel. And Swan, there's no one watching you right now.
Two things. She's like, well, I could try to cut down this version of Lord Anastasios in front of her. But she's also sort of ruminating on it as a form of like just enjoying, again, the pure gratuity of murder. The second sort of thing here, however, is that I would like to use an approach to determine if I'm at the center of the heart.
All right. So, first off, Blythe and Elvira, I need both of you to spend a valor as you lash out and rip and tear until it's done. And as this mayhem is going around, Swan, you feel the ground beneath you, and you can actually hear a thudding, like a heartbeat. Yes, this is the heart. And you're just in one of its chambers.
I am going to, with Lord Anastasios distracted, take my spear and thrust it into the ground where I'm currently standing. Try to get it even deeper than just the blade.
You stab your blade deep into the ground. Go ahead and spend valor for me.
I shall.
And as all three of you fight back against the illusion, you hear, once again, the 1,000 wails of the night. And as the spear made from the forest pierces the heart of this tree, the room begins to rumble. The world begins to fall away. And before you know it, you're standing in an empty chamber of the cave at the top of a waterfall. You see the corpse of one knight sitting, blade clasped in hand. Too old to be used. Covered in cobwebs, suggesting this has been dead for a long, long time. The three of you are free from your illusion. The world is natural, and you're looking upon the corpse of one of the first of Sanguine's populi. Plain as you can see the seal on their helmet, and you can hear a strange sound at the bottom of the falls, clawing. You see the roots of the tree emerging from the ceiling of the cave. You've journeyed beneath the tree and found yourself here. What do you do?
Well, so much for respecting the forest. We will do what we need to do. The two of you look upset.
I'm not even surprised that you aren't.
We must continue.
We need to find a way to get down there. I would have no problems, but the two of you.
It's a climb down, right?
Yeah, if you were to walk up to the edge, you'd be able to see the bottom. You're at the top of, you see a stream leading down underneath this dead knight's body through to a small waterfall that seems to pour over this cliff. You do hear the sound of a creature below.
Are there rocks where the waterfall is?
From the top, yes, you can see some rocks that you'd be able to interact with.
Maybe pythons.
I would assume we have some rope.
Yeah, you would have come prepared.
I will tie the rope on a secured, like, rock, maybe, and fly down to the bottom and secure the rope to kind of have like a rappel line going down.
All right. As you take your rope and you go to go to the edge of this cliff, you can see at the bottom a pool of water and several rocks jutting out from within it, as well as the rest of a cave chamber. And you can see more of the roots of this tree leading down toward it. And you can also just barely see from this angle the tail of something pale.
I stay low. I stay quiet. I give the rope a tug to give like a signal that the rope is secure both ends.
Do you want to go first?
She just takes a running start and like uses her spear to like secure her on the line, and she just starts going down, like just like zips down the rope.
Elvira waits for Swan to get all the way to the bottom before going to the edge, kind of examining it for a bit, kind of testing her weight using the scythe in a similar way to the spear, but knows that like she just is bigger than Swan, and so like didn't want to do anything that would potentially put both of them in danger.
Yeah.
And so is gonna and then gonna kind of like run, jump, and then attempt to do the same thing a little less gracefully.
All right. As you all rappel down from these rocks, ziplining almost, you manage to get to the entry point, this rock that's been tied around by Blythe. And now that all three of you are down at the bottom, you can see very clearly this thing. It's long, probably around 15 feet in length. Just in its torso that's touching the ground as it curls upward, almost like a naga, but you see 4 arms jutting out from it, long arms, and 2 of them actually hold it steady while its other 2 moves its hands in strange ways around these roots of the tree, and magic itself, this yellow light, pulls itself from the roots of the tree and formulates into orbs. And you see it push the orbs into its own chest. And you can see it pulling orb after orb, and it hasn't noticed you yet. You see this long white figure, and it has almost a humanoid upper half, but the top head does not seem to have hair or anything. It's completely smooth, featureless. You can see the vertebrae of its spine almost through its skin as the translucent nature of its skin reacts to the light that is just barely peeking in through the cracks of the cave. And the thing continues to collect, and you all are hidden.
Swan would like to prepare herself first, if y'all are fine with her going first, technically.
Yeah, that's fine.
The Oath of the Blood, I can imbibe this. I'm going to be using one of my powers. Once I begin my fight against the beast, I'm going to give in to my urges and consume a vial of the precious blood I carry. The range is myself, and the effect is that for the remainder of the fight, I increase maximum health +2, movement +1, and harm +1.
Ooh.
However, I can no longer receive any form of healing.
Ooh.
For the rest of the thing.
For the rest of this. So all of you sort of see there's like sort of, I am able to trigger something within the spear that I have, and then suddenly the like centerpiece, like this jagged like core of my dryad spear just sort of swells and fills with blood as soon as I trigger it, and then from the mouth of the dryad, petrified in horror, I begin to take in and drink the blood from the spear from the petrified mouth, and the manic smile does not leave. It grows somehow, almost like shifting her face into something a little bit more jagged in her bones, crazed. And she smiles, turning around to the 2 of you with blood just sort of like dripping down her face. Let's have fun. And with my movement of 2, I would like to stealthily move.
So yeah, you can move there easily. The creature does take a turn after every single player. The creature does begin to move over to another route to begin pulling more. Which player would like to go next?
I'll draw its attention. So I'm going to, rather than move, Elvira takes her scythe and in swinging it, ripping a hole in the fabric of reality, opening what amounts to like a gateway in between her and the collector, closer towards the cliff on the other side of the collector from where Swan is. And I think in hopping through this rift, it's just going to like come through, and then I think it's like a double swing, right? Where the first swing is building up momentum, and then that momentum is opening up this rift, and in stepping through is doing on the back swing of it, slicing through this collector, dealing 2 harm to it, and hopefully also getting its attention away from Swan.
Elvira, you rend through reality and you swing through the air, spinning twice to get a nice amount of momentum with the swing of your scythe, cutting into the collector. And as it reacts and screeches this ungodly screech, two-toned, deep and guttural and high and hissy, it echoes through the chamber, and the creature immediately turns toward you. And it is going to notice this opening behind you here. You see as its blank face, no facial features, curves around this rock, and one of its hands reaches out toward you. It is going to lash out, dealing 2 harm to you. So you feel that one of its 4 hands reach out, and it claws, and you feel it pierce through your armor and scrape through your flesh just a little bit. And Blythe, it is your turn.
Okay. So if I take flight, it says it removes yourself from the grid until the start of your next round. So I guess that's what I'm going to do.
All right. So you take flight into the air, shooting out of the sky, and now you're not considered on the grid for a round. And the creature has yet another turn. So this collector pushes through you, Elvira, and pushes you into the wall of this cave, and it ends back up towards you, Swan. While Elvira, you are not going to be able to take a movement on your next turn. You watch the collector push Elvira into the wall and curve around almost too fast for you to react, and it slashes down and strikes you for 2 damage. And it's Swan's turn now.
Okay. I'm going to move back. When I lunge, I can deal +2 harm if I was more than 2 spaces away from the beast at the start of my turn. So I am going to do 3 harm. It's a strange, almost revving up as a person as I just anime style bounce backwards and then using all the momentum I still have left in my legs magically, however so, almost like a lightning bolt. And I would like to pierce it, this bolt of blood lightning, towards the center of, honestly, it's core, in the abdomen, somewhere potentially where organs are.
You lunge this energy toward the collector, and it surges through its core, and as smoke envelops it, as you pierce into the creature, you see it slowly begin to fall away, and its flesh has torn away in places, and you begin to see the corner of a mouth emerging from the flesh in its torso, as if there's something underneath the guise that you're looking upon. And angry that you would dare, it is going to use a whip-like attack. And its back half of its body whips around and grabs onto you and throws you. So you go southward toward the cliffside and the water that you emerged from. Skidding across the ground, you're going to take 1 damage as the creature builds distance away from you. And it still has its movement. And so the creature is then going to move downward into the water that you all came from. Now it's conveniently positioned in a way where you all basically surround it, but this thing looks fearsome. The collector towers over Blythe and Swan, those who are nearest to it, while Elvira, you're still up against the wall and are unable to use a movement action on your next turn.
Blythe appears and lands next to Elvira, and I am going to heal.
All right.
That heals 2 damage to any single knight. If it brings them to full health, they may immediately move one space for free.
Oh shit. So what does it look like as you swoop down from the skies and heal Elvira?
Violently drops down with a syringe, stabbing Elvira in the neck, and yanks them from the wall.
Elvira, is pried from the wall and kind of pushed into the water, falling not quite to her knees as she's able to catch herself with the scythe, using her other hand to hold the gap in her armor that Blythe was able to stick the needle into. I'm imagining this is like a big needle, right?
About 4-inch needle.
Yeah, I imagine the force that you came down with and just plunging it in after diving down from the sky, the impact actually technically broke Elvira's neck as the needle is plunged into it and kind of fracturing it almost. And then the blood goes in and she feels this rush of adrenaline and strange blood magic healing her, and she takes her hand from her neck to the other side of her head and just snaps it back into place, and not even turning back to look at Blythe, but pulling herself up with the scythe and almost kind of pushing herself off the ground and kind of hopping into the air slightly to raise her scythe and then bring it back down onto the collector in front of her in the water.
With this extra movement, you're able to get in and strike true with your scythe, dealing your extra damage to the collector. And the collector winces again, more of that flesh beginning to peel away, revealing a body covered in mouths. As it reels in pain and its turn comes back once again, you see its hands begin to paddle its way around, moving it faster than just the regular slither normally would. And it is going to use its movement to move right here. And the creature, now closer to the cliffs than the water, lash out at Swan once more, now further away from Elvira and Blythe, centering all of their attention on the isolated party member. This thing is intelligent. You're going to take 2 more harm, bringing you down to 7. And that would be everyone's turns, which means we're going to get a complication now. As the collector has managed to go around everyone, and you begin to feel this hatred radiating from it, almost like it's invading your mind, and you feel this shift to a degree, and the orbs begin to emerge from the mouths, the orbs that it absorbed. But rather than this pale yellow energy that was coming from the roots earlier, you see these strange purple balls, and as they fall to the ground and sink into the floor, parts of the environment itself becomes a little bit harder to move through. Some of the spaces begin to get absorbed into the collector's purple energy that's surging through the ground, cutting off certain spaces from being able to be moved through. So you'll see the water in one specific area begin to glow purple, and then a little bit of the ground closer towards the roots, closer to you, Blythe, on the surface, begin to glow, and hands reach outward from those purple spaces, grasping, and you know for a fact that if you were to pass over those spaces, that you would be held. Anyway, play your turn again. Who would like to go?
Would it be okay for me to go before Swan and assist them?
Sure. Well, I can't be healed.
I not a healing. Just make you hit harder. but also make
Okay.
you take more damage as well. Unfortunately.
I love that. No, I love it. Let's do it.
I'm going to take my movement over here, and since they're 2 spaces away, I am going to jump into the air, and Blythe is going to shoot up, furl their wings, and a rain of blood. Is Elvira also 2 spaces away from me?
Yes.
Rain of blood hits the both of you, and you feel more empowered and invigorated. All knights within range deal +1 harm next turn, but take 1 harm until the end of the round.
No, I love that actually.
Ooh. All right, so Blythe rises in the air, and in this triangular formation that all of you are in, blood begins to rain down around you, and Swan and Elvira, this blood begins to soak into you and invigorate your system.
I open my mouth like it's snow.
That brings it back to the Collector's turn. The Collector is going to go ahead and use its Dazzle, allowing it to move its whole movement, and this affects any knight that they push effect while they move, which means that they do have enough movement to, as you both are standing in a straight line, hit Swan, go through the water, and you see those hands splashing up the water as they paddle toward you, Elvira, and it rams you into the wall again, and you get pushed up towards here, and neither of you are able to move for the rest of this turn, but you still have your turn.
Can go, since it's still next to me.
Yes, it's right next to you in the water. You're between a literal rock and a hard place right now.
And if I'm understanding correctly, Blythe, because of your move, I take 1 additional damage and I deal 1 additional damage, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this is about to go crazy then. Having just been pushed by this creature and like kind of anchored into place here, I think Elvira pulls her scythe back once more, looks at this creature in its faceless, I guess it doesn't have eyes, does it?
As you look into its face, some of its skin has begun to peel away, and you just see more mouths.
As I look deep into its mouths, I'm going to raise my scythe. I'm going to jam the butt of the scythe deep into the mouth of this creature, and I'm going to use it as leverage to slam its head against the cave wall, dealing 3 damage because of the additional damage. And then for my second ability, I'm going to take the momentum of like slamming it against the cave wall. I'm going to like yank the butt of the scythe out of its mouth, reel the scythe around, and as I do so, coming in for a second blow, I aim the scythe in such a way that the curvature of its swing slices through the back of my leg. And as I bring it around for the second swing, the blood from my body trails along with it, sharpening the blade. And then I like just cut deep into its torso.
So you bring this blade around one more big time, using the momentum of the blade, using the blood to your advantage. You slice through it, and you see a huge gash tear through this collector's waist. And this time you don't see a mouth. You see stars. You see a void opening up in its stomach. Its face, its head turns down toward you as it squeals and screeches. You can tell the collector is on its last breath. And in its anger, it reaches toward you, snapping its tail, wrapping around your leg, and it's going to launch you right at Blythe with its whip attack. You're going to take 1 damage from that, and both you and Blythe are going to take an additional 1 damage from colliding. Now, it still has its movement, so it's going to... oh, shit. The collector's realizing it's boxed itself in. There's nowhere to run. And so it does what anything would do. And it moves southward, back toward the waterfall. And it stands there, knowing, with its back against the wall, that the knights have it surrounded. Whose turn is next? I believe Swan's left?
Yes.
Swan, you're incapable of moving, but you still have that spear.
I do.
What is your plan here?
So I'm unable to move, but there's no problem. With a stance, as much as I'm able to move my legs freely, I'm like feeling the exact weight of where I need to throw my beautiful lady, my spear. And again, this like blood lightning, this strange form of energy that was blessed, gifted to me again by our Lord, being rendered nearly half out of my unlife, really truly feeling our essence as mortal around this thing. I hurl my spear towards the collector, through the water, past it, and wherever it sinks in, I think Swan realizes and knows this will be the end.
The spear, made from a dryad, gifted to you by Lord Anastasios, cuts through the air, spinning, whirling. It weaves between the stalactites that emerge from the water, and the collector accepts this fate. The spear pierces into its head, jamming it into the wall, similar to the hand-like hounds that you encountered earlier in the night. And it lays limp, dangling over the water. The maws of the creature from its peeled-away skin begin to open agape, and these yellow orbs begin to pour out of it, reabsorbing into the world itself. The earth begins to shake, but it almost feels the cave around you is taking a morning stretch as a stiffness is lifted from it. The water of the waterfall begins to pour around the collector's body, and you all stand listening to the water as it echoes through the caves, having succeeded in what no one else has done. You've slain one of these enemies. You've saved your forest, and maybe you'll be able to provide the people of Azeroth just a little bit of hope with this victory. What is your immediate reaction as you see this thing finally fall? The three of you.
I breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that this part of the job is done, and hoping that the leader of the Dryads keeps their end of the deal, so that the other half can be done as well.
I collect spoils of the collector. As ironic as that might seem. I take the blood, I take some teeth from the mouths that sprout out from its body, and then I proceed to tend to my companions.
I spit at the ground, just in pure disrespect and disgust for this thing. I never want to feel human again.
And as the three of you tend to your wounds and prepare to venture back home, we proceed to our short epilogue. What do each of you do in your days that follow as you return back home to parade, as you bring back the spoils of battle, as you receive a pod of large leaves wrapped around what's left of bodies? What do you do? Do you stay with the Order and help rebuild? What do you do with the weapons? What do you do with the bodies? What do you do with the collector?
I leave the bodies, the collector,
to Blythe and Elvira. I will kill, I will fight, I will do whatever I absolutely need to keep the Dryad Spear. And if that is most of the kerfuffle that Swan has to deal with, then not a problem to her. I think she spends her days on a balcony or on the roof of where the Oath of the Blood, wherever we take cabin. And she looks up at sort of the moon, and she looks up at the sky and the stars, seeing, wanting, waiting for something more, for whatever is out there that we know that could create such a thing as the Collector, if it even did. It was disgusting, but there was something also liberating, something that made her feel something new and special, fear again. So she says she's taken up stargazing, but it's more than that. It's so much more beyond.
Elvira takes the bodies, these remains left in pods of leaves, and brings them to the graves that were dug in our absence, and tenderly places each pod into a grave. She's there to oversee the graves buried. She's there to oversee the funerary rites. She's there to oversee each person as they come to leave something for those that they have lost, for those they remember. And she's silent all the while, watching like a parent, watching as their child experiences grief and loss for the first time, knowing that there is nothing you can do for them other than stand by their side and wait for them to process, to feel that grief and that sadness. And no, it is not the first time that these people have felt sadness and grief and loss. But there is a strange depth to which Elvira feels grief, loss, and sadness. And so, to her, everyone else's approximation of those feelings feel like that of a child's, not truly understanding what it is, but feeling it nonetheless. And so she stands there, waiting for them to go through the motions, go through the feelings. And when it is over, she leaves, going back up the mountain, back to the castle, and back to the crypt, where her job continues.
After the encounter with the Collector, Blythe looked at it in the sense of a specimen, looking for innards, taking blood, and bringing it back. And for however long it took, they locked themselves in their lab, toiled away, and before one sunrise, at the apothecary, they find a box filled with salves, tinctures, medicine for the wounded, for the sick, for the weak. Blythe still thinks that they are a monstrosity, an abomination, that they are not supposed to exist, and that their existence, their presence, curses the land. And for penance, they do what they do best. They help the people however they can. Time goes on and they just keep doing what they do. It's all that they can do.
It is all that you can do. You return, you study. Maybe others that make it to the land of Azerad who've heard the story of this hidden city where it's said that 3 knights slew one of these beyonders. People look into your research. They see what you've done to help people. And from your medicine, for the people of Azerad proper, and for travelers just looking for hope, your work continues to help people. And hopefully one day you'll find that penance And that is Sanguis Populi, the blood of the people, protectors of Azeroth, keepers of the crypt, doing what they can, doing all they can, and that's how they will always be. The end.
Blood in the Snow features Oleander as Game Master, Kendrick as Elvira Jabril, Fabian Lillet as Blythe, and Josephine as Swan Arcadi, with editing and sound design by Oleander.